The video game, the movie, the video game, the movie, the video game.
There you go, Wolf.
Yeah, I thought
try
so.
this link. See if you can see that. And then I'm going to check incognito again.
Okay, it says video is private.
Yeah,
You can't
video
see it at all,
unavailable.
right?
This video
You have a
is
video
private.
of privates, yeah.
Private D's
Oh.
nuts.
It's fine. We'll just picture in our head what you're putting to video.
The shin bone
Okay.
connected to the thigh bone.
This looks terrible.
I was
Yeah,
helping GP out with his anatomy classes.
All right,
Let's go
last
realistic.
chest.
It's fine.
Try this link.
Oh, that's right. It had snakes in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Let's
can
see it.
see it.
But why?
And it shows up as this is private. It's on the page though, but it's private, so they can't see it. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid uploading a video because it causes all kinds of headaches.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're not live anymore. Okay, I think this is the way to do it.
Okay, I do not see it live
Okay,
on our front
I
page.
see us live,
I see us live.
but let me check our front page. Yeah.
I don't see it on the front page.
Yeah,
and
that's what we
I'm in a porn tab right now.
Sorry, YouTube.
Wrong channel. We're on the wrong channel.
I
If-
also do not see it live on our main page.
So for those
Okay, I think
watching
we're good.
this on Friday, we are not live, and if Jake is lazy and decides not to edit all this crap, this is us trying to do it so it's live but not live. So,
It's a
All
zombie.
right.
It's a zombie episode.
We try to reduce post production around these parts.
yeah.
We're just
Around these
gonna make the Scooby Doo excuse. Diddle-oo, diddle-oo, diddle-oo. The time is whatever time it is when you're watching this.
Just click this
I love it
timestamps
that we're
below in the
doing this
comments, and it'll
live.
take you to where you want to go, and we're good.
Yeah.
All right.
Go live.
Man, I am so happy that it is now early mid-March.
Yeah, maybe even June. I don't know.
If it was in June, my ass be on a boat.
Charts
Well.
doing this from a boat, folks.
Don't you ever
Give me
forget.
1 sec, GP.
1 sec, you got it.
Yeah, 1 sec. It looks like we'll be trimming
Can I
this
get
one
two?
too. Anyway.
What are you, a teenager? No. With your libido?
All right. I am now.
I feel like we can.
Very much not.
We're good. Whenever you want to start.
All right, everybody, hello and welcome back to our podcast, Press B to Cancel.
You got to do the opening line.
Can I say hi first, or you want the? Because I was
No,
going to
no.
lead into it.
All right. Okay.
I have
okay,
this-
You're right.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
everybody,
We do a
start
cold open
over.
I thought we do a
Please, Your
cold open
Highness,
and then
I
the
will-
hellos.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
will. I will do. You can host if you want to host.
No, it's okay. I'm good. It's
This is
all
our
right.
first podcast. We've never done this before.
I
Where's
sent you a
that spider?
copy. Did you not? Okay. No.
Episode
So
one, folks.
this episode is a little bit different, which is my fault. But I want to touch on that, and then I'll do the opening line, and then we'll do our introductions. But I want to say this, everybody. It's March Radness. I'm thrilled. This is going to be a particularly fun episode because we're all in a hateful mood. If you weren't already picking up on that, this is one of those rare gems, a hidden gem, if you will, of an episode where we all get to just trash on things, and I think we all enjoy that, except for Jake.
My second favorite hobby.
No
is
getting
trashing
science
things people
reasons.
like. Yeah.
So without further ado, I don't have an opening line. I have an opening bit. We'll say it
Okay.
that way. And this is, I think, kind of explaining the logic of what this episode's going to be. So let me paint you a picture with my imagination brush. Okay. The process. I'll wait. The process begins when a video game developer says, wait a minute. I have a thought. I'm going to have a thought. Yes. It's gone. The process of original thought stalls and secondhand creativity is the order of the day. Let's just loosely adapt a popular movie into a video game, says one of the drone workers. I love it, says the Suits. One voice speaks up from the darkened end of the room. If we do that, you got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Chill out, dickwad. We'll make money off of this. The process is rushed at best, and the day comes to present the new trash to the old money. This is garbage, a trash heap the size of the moon, but it'll sell. That's no moon. You should give him his dignity. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, says the one voice from the darkened end of the room. Yeah, it sucks, but we spent too much money to abandon it. When can we release? How about Friday the 13th? Wasn't that bad luck? Look, Friday the 13th is better than Monday the whatever. So the day comes and it's available to the masses. The reviews suck, but your allowance has to go somewhere. You close your eyes, praying so hard that the game will be at least a little bit fun. I'll be as good as you want me to be forever, God. Just please, don't let this suck. You hear the voice of God respond. Just swear the most excellent promise you can make. You go home, you open the box. The cartridge stares at you as if to say, I'm not really bad, I'm just drawn that way. Every evening, I died. And every evening, I was born again, resurrected. You play, and you lose life after life. And that was my childhood. This game was as terrible as the developers knew it would be. A house of condiments, and nothing more. The game was so bad, it ruined lives, ended marriages. For the world, it was released on a Friday. But to me, it was a Tuesday. But that was life, and life finds a way. Decades later, we no longer have cartridges. We have subscription services. Multipass. I met you guys. The podcast was as if a hand reaching out to me saying, come with me if you want to live. Guys, we're going to need a bigger podcast. Jake, I am your father. Today on... I did it well and it didn't.
Don't talk over the. Don't talk
You're
over the
talking
intro.
over the extended intro.
Oh, it's extended?
The extended intro. And guys, that's all the time we have today.
Yeah.
Welcome back into
podcast.
Press B to Cancel. So
Good job,
if you
everybody.
weren't able to pick up on what we were talking about today, video games that were poorly translated. Nope, let me rehit that. Movies poorly translated into video games. And in continuing with the spirit of March Radness, we are doing this bracket stylies. I'm over the moon excited. But before we get into that, I want to go through today's dais. We've got the full crew here today. Let's start off with Mr. Werewolf. Say hello. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. It's gonna be a lot worse from here. I'll tell you that.
I love the optimism. Is what I like. This is all uphill. It's gonna be great. My man Chardmonk, how are you, sir? Welcome in.
Now that's one big pile of shit.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. Sinistar, welcome in. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, and I have one question for you.
Okay.
Have you seen this boy?
Why is Wayne's World not on our list? Anyway, and then of course, Sick Jake, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm looking to an episode full of us agreeing and coming together in harmony and peaceful debate.
Oh, I don't see that happening at all. But it is so good to have you, and I want you all to know
Maybe.
there are no other groups of four people I would rather argue this with than you all. So let's jump right into it. These bracket episodes tend to go long, and I don't think this will be the exception because if there's one thing we all enjoy doing, it is bashing the things. I do want to point out a couple things for anybody who's going to be upset that the list is not longer. We could do this all day. We're very Captain America that way. There were two when we started the list of hey, what should be on here. It was tough. Something to remember. There's more games out there than what's on this list that just suck. But today we are voting for the shittiest adaptation of a movie into a video game. So
real
when you
quick,
hear me vote for the worst possible thing, just please remember I'm supposed to.
real quick.
Yeah.
If you think we didn't put a movie to video game adaptation on the list that we should have, put it in the comments or come to our Discord and blast the fuck out of us.
Yes, let us
Yeah.
know where we messed up so that we
Especially
can
Jake.
discuss it.
Yeah,
We
I love
take
when people
all
tell
of
me
your
I'm
comments
wrong.
seriously.
Every week.
Also, I need to point out that not only did GP go with Wayne's World after Have You Seen This Boy? That's where my fucking head went to.
Up top.
And I think I have a problem up top.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's jump right in. The first bracket, as determined by a random, I guess, program. Is that right?
Completely
have a game for
random.
the-
100%.
A game for the Super Nintendo called Super Star Wars. I believe, Sinister, that was one of your entries. Why don't you start us off by talking about Super Star Wars Courage?
It was not my entry, but I'm happy to talk about it because I played it today. And I made it through the first level, and I question how this is a Star Wars game. Simply for the fact that, well, okay, no, that's not true. I don't question how this is a Star Wars game. I question how this is actually tied to A New Hope. Because you are Luke Skywalker at the beginning running through the desert like he was doing, obviously, in A New Hope.
Tatooine, thank you.
Running into
Yeah.
running into scorpions,
Mm-hmm.
like that shoot things from their tails.
Listen, we don't know much about the flora and fauna of Tatooine,
Yeah.
so let's not
But I know
can't judge.
Yeah, but
split
I
hairs
love
here.
you.
I'm sure we all remember the beginning of the movie, how he just, forced his way into the Jawa
I'm gonna say,
crawler.
I specifically recall the scene of him absolutely annihilating this Jawa sailor
Yeah.
right
Look,
Well,
it's in the
murdering
deleted
the-
scenes.
Well,
Jawas.
hold on, folks, because we took care of Return of the Jedi at the beginning of this game, because you fight the Sarlacc in the Sarlacc pit as the first boss.
Mm.
Yeah,
This
just like the
is
movie, right?
prequel. This was him coming home to his aunt and uncle before before they showed up. We didn't know what he was doing beforehand. He wasn't in his room fucking watching holograms and doing unquestionable things to himself. No, he was running around in the sand, fighting the local Sarlacc pit, and having a run-in with the Jawas that
Listen,
probably stole his
if I'm-
money.
Shooting the Jawas off the hip, straight in the face. I have to point this out because this is my favorite thing about the game. When you shoot a bad guy, they don't explode, they don't fall over, they go flying off the side of the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it is the greatest thing in this video.
And we all know that
but-
gravity on Tatooine is much weaker than it is in most atmospheres.
but I will say
That's a
this:
strong
I was waiting for when I had to negotiate with the Jawas for droids, and it never happened.
Nope.
You
Doesn't
negotiate
happen.
with your blaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but
Pretty hairy
set
of you.
phasers to fuck off. That's what it is. And they do. You shoot them in their faces, and they fuck right off.
Oh boy.
I've got a handful of cold
Yeah.
fusion with your name on it.
I don't.
If you're lucky, Jawa.
Well, do you?
So
Hey, somebody get that scorpion.
this is a game I put on the
And
list.
Yeah,
And-
this is Jake's game, but I
Yeah.
played it today, so I figured I could talk about it.
So there's
Oh,
three of these games, one for each of the movies. And the reason why I want this one to be there, the first one, and I know it's kind of from the movies, but it's a Star Wars game, and you don't have a lightsaber for, I feel like, a good chunk of this game. It's blasters only. There's multiple characters. There's Han Solo and Chewbacca, but you're mostly Luke, and it's blaster for most of this game, I feel like. And
Well,
to me, it
blasters
sucks.
with seeking missiles at certain
Yes,
points.
there's-
Yeah, when did we get the
obviously,
Yeah.
rebound blaster.
straight
which
from the
were
movie.
obviously in the movie.
But-
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah,
I
both
can kind of
blasters,
forgive that because in one of them, I don't remember which one. I think it is the third one. Maybe it's the second one. I don't know. But he talks about how he used to shoot womp rats for like target practice, right?
Oh, I think I
So
shot.
clearly-
They're only
With
2 meters.
seeking
2
missiles.
meters.
Yeah.
I think I shot womp rats in the first level.
So I
platform
can
looks solid.
allow the fact that it's just like blaster for the most of the part of the game, even though his health bar is a lightsaber, which is weird.
It is odd.
I think that
yeah.
this video game has proven that Luke shot first.
He
The
wasn't
question
even in
not
the
asked,
question.
but they were answering it anyway.
Yeah.
You just pissed
Never
off
mind.
so many
Fine.
legions of Star Wars fans by saying
I
Luke
thought
shot
Picard
first.
shot first.
He wasn't even in the.
Yeah.
Also, is this really what's going on in the Jawa vehicles?
Yes.
I was gonna
yes.
say the Jawa security system is extremely well designed. I have
It's
to
a
admit.
death trap.
Well, yes and no. I mean, if one kid who's just a farmer can bust in, it's not that well designed. I'm just saying.
It just seems intense considering they probably
He's
don't
got
have
the Force.
visitors every day.
Wolf, okay?
He
Not
didn't
all of us
know
have that
that.
ability.
He doesn't know that he's got the Force. He's
Yeah, at
just
this
breaking
point-
into the robots.
He's got
He's
because
Force
completely
Luke is just-
intuition. He just doesn't know what it is yet. I've got a mole on my neck. It could be melanoma. I don't know.
It could be the
I haven't
Force.
had it checked
You
out
don't
yet.
know.
This
I will say
game
this.
has effectively turned Luke into a hoodlum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Contra did it better.
He's a Manchester United fan too.
All right.
So I guess we're just coming after everybody today. Luke shot first,
So-
which
Luke
is the
said
third
we were
option
angry.
nobody knew about.
But this game is
And,
against
Man U
something,
fans are
right?
pissed off.
Yeah,
That's great.
it's not on its
Yeah.
own.
What is this?
Yeah.
What is this game against?
Health sword.
Yeah, health sword.
Yes, you can
Tasty,
heal
tasty
people
health
by
sword.
cutting them.
No, it
Okay.
extended the lightsaber that he doesn't have.
Yeah,
Mm.
right. It's a metaphoric lightsaber. So
Yeah.
here's the question: which was the worst video game adaptation of a movie? This or Jaws?
Mm.
Jawas.
What
Or
the
just-
hell
Jawas.
is that?
Jawas.
You don't
Yeah.
remember this part? Okay, this
It's
was
the
one of the
lava
deleted
beast.
The
scenes.
lava beast.
Jawinko.
Yeah.
Oh,
Duh.
You don't know
it's-
Joe Winko? Come on now. That was
They
that's
filmed
all
this.
the lore.
it's an
They filmed this, but it
amalgamation.
didn't make it.
It's an amalgamation of Jawas smashed together and then pushed into the lava.
I thought that was Jabba's like cousin.
No,
Phil.
it's in the
Uncle
the
Joe
DVD
Winko.
extras. How did R2 do? Okay, does R2 know how to do platforming? How did R2?
does.
No,
get
we
there?
learned that in the prequels that he has jump jets.
Yeah, he has jump jets.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's a mech.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just saying it doesn't make
He's
a whole hell of
mech.
a lot of sense.
All right.
Looking this
so-
thing up, I have just learned of Wikipedia. I just want to throw that out.
Oh,
It's,
no,
that's a
Wikipedia
great
is
site.
well
I
established.
love Wikipedia.
Love
It's up there with
Wikipedia.
Alpha Memory. It's good.
Okay,
It's good.
so against
Why
So-
does
Jaws.
Luke look,
It's
Luke
against
looks like
Jaws.
He-Man on top of that. Sorry. Keep going.
Jaws was GP. That was
know,
yours,
so-
right?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Explain
Jaws
Jaws,
is-
and what it's based on.
loosely based off of a great movie called Jaws 4: The Revenge. This time
Loosely.
it's personal.
That's the
Yes.
first one where Jaws roars, right?
You know the scene in Jaws where you're bombing jellyfish from an airplane? Yeah, my favorite part of that movie.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
What are we gonna do? We need points. Let's just. Oh God. But okay. This one I'm glad is on the list because it's LJN and people famously hate LGN and for kind of good reason. But this is a guilty pleasure of mine. I do love this game. I grew up being afraid of it because it was difficult. My brother couldn't beat it, and if my brother couldn't beat it, I wasn't gonna try it. Plus, it was about a giant fucking shark. Checked off all the boxes of things that I was afraid of. I had a discussion with my wife last night about it, whether or not I should really attack this game because again, it's got a sentimental spot right here in my ticker. But she's like, the game is short; you can beat it in no time, and there's really no development of anything. And she's not wrong.
Yeah.
It's LJN, but it's on the top tier level for LJN. You know, if that makes sense. It's
The low bar is
Right.
low, but
But-
yeah.
But
Yeah.
as a movie tie-in,
as a movie tie-in. You remember there were no scenes. It was just going from one port to another port that was still pretty close, and then going back trying to get a radio and collecting conch shells.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
feel
it.
like this was reskinned.
Like you do in the ocean.
Somebody was like,
Just
hey,
like you.
we have this underwater
No.
game. Let's reskin it and call it Jaws.
No, this shark is a big
No,
focus of
I
this
feel
game.
like this
Yeah.
was I feel like this was a rush job of a licensed game.
Yes.
And you know how I
But-
know it's not a good one? It doesn't have Mario Van Peebles. If they really cared about people liking it from the movie, give me Mario Van Peebles and Michael Caine.
Michael
Michael
Caine.
Caine.
This
Michael
is a
Caine.
game I had as a kid, and this
Uh-huh.
is a game that I repeatedly would go
Yo,
back to play. Like,
Jaws'
it would
dorsal
frustrate
fin
the crap
is
out of me.
3 times the size of the freaking boat on the map. Just FYI.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Accurate.
What were you saying?
I can
What were you saying,
hear
Wolf?
this music though.
This this was a game that I always found kind of fun, even though it's frustrating as hell, right?
Yeah.
I would repeatedly go back to it, sometimes with Game Genie, sometimes without, but I would always try.
Yeah.
Right? It drew me back in constantly. And it was like I had fun with it when I'd first pop it in, at least for a little while, until things started really going downhill for that particular run. And then I'd be pissed at it and be done with it for a couple of weeks and then pop it back in again. It's a game that constantly drew you back, even when it frustrated you. and
The game,
it like it's inexplicably fun because it's all
Yeah.
frustration, right?
It should not be as good as it is by
Yeah.
all accounts.
Right.
Yeah.
the gameplay loop of the
It-
scuba diving and collecting shells and shooting fish and manta rays, is that from the movie? I don't know, maybe not, but it is fun. It's like a shmup. It's a shmup with the exploring on the overworld. I think this game is actually a lot of fun.
And you
Like a
don't even get a
randomized-
It's a fish 'em
lightsaber
up.
for most of it.
It's a fish 'em
You
up.
don't,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't get the lightsaber on the end of your piercing, bow of your ship
Okay,
until the
so
end.
let's talk about that. To beat the game, after you've taken down and depleted Jaws's power bar there at the bottom of the screen, your first person view on the was that the stern or the bow of the boat, waiting for the shark to come so you can ignite an electric pulse to make him jump out of the water, and then somehow you boost the speed of the front end of your boat and spear him with it. And then he falls to the bottom, and then a sky plane or a seaplane flies off into the sun. It says the end, and you've wasted 20 years of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there we are.
I've never seen
God.
a boat quite move that side to side like that.
Yes,
Strafing, yeah.
strafing boat. Uh-huh.
It's
Really, this defined the first person shooting genre.
It is
Really.
very.
It's this first person stabbing.
Yeah, you ever stab
That-
anything
yeah,
with your boat
first
on
person
purpose?
stab.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Oh,
Spoilers,
yeah,
but that's
you
the end
know,
of the game.
boats
Beaten the
boats
game.
move like this, right? You never
Spoiler.
you never been on a boat when it's going completely sideways like this?
No, well, and
Wait,
I've
wow.
especially
Yo,
not
did
been
the-
on one
yo,
that has
Did
like
the plane
lunged.
just go into hyperspace? Why
It
did
did.
it do the little
Yes.
fucking
Well,
star?
It's
This
doing
is a
the
real. Did this tie
it's-
in with Star Wars?
it's doing the Kessel run in 7 parsecs.
nice. So here's the thing: if only Jaws 4 had been Jaws the video game, it would have gotten better reviews. This might be the only entry on the list where the game itself horribly adapted from the movie, but if only the movie
Yeah.
had been so good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do we think? Which is the worst of the movie game adaptations? Jaws at least has a shark and a boat. Star
I'm-
Wars has
I'm
Jaws you
going-
shoot in the face.
I'm going with Star Wars because the only thing that really applies is Luke Skywalker and a blaster. Everything else in this game has nothing to do with the movie.
Yeah, like the cantina fight. Really? There was
Yeah. Well,
there was
Oh, the
like somebody
cantina
got decked and then they run. It's not you come into the cantina guns blazing
yes.
like it's the old west.
Yeah. And the
you're an
Jawa-
outlaw.
I don't know
You're
how
loose.
you
the
go into
Jawa, the
cantinas.
Jawa fortress that you have to move your way through to apparently get androids.
Uncle Jawinko.
big-
What's wrong with
it's a
Uncle
big tank.
Jawinko? You know?
Uncle Jawinko's kicking into there. He's trying to watch
So
The Price is Right, and Luke comes in.
Did
and
anybody
fucking
else
kicks
have
the doors
Joenko
down.
jeans back in the early 2000s?
Jawinko.
so my
Yes.
worst of these two is Star Wars the video game.
Okay, so we got one for
Su-
Star
sorry,
Wars.
super Star Wars.
Super Star Wars.
Super Star Wars.
Jake,
yeah.
what say you, Jake?
Yeah, I'm with you. I like Jaws. I think Jaws is a fun one. LGN makes a lot of trash, and I know that this is not a great game, and it's very simple. If I bought this as a kid, would I have liked it? No, but when you in the world of emulators, you can play every game for 10 minutes and not feel bad. Yeah, it's good. I think Jaws is great. So Super Star Wars, with the difficulty spike in it, it's soberly hard and complete nonsense all the way through the game with the giant sandwalker, the Sarlacc pit. Like, it's so off the rails. And I know they're trying to expand things from the movies, but I just feel like as a movie tie-in, it's not that great. So Super Star Wars is the worst of the two.
Okay. Wolf, what do you say?
I
Who's
feel like
moving on?
Jaws strays a lot less from the source material than Super Star Wars does.
Okay.
So I gotta say, Super Star Wars gets my vote. It's the worst of the two.
All right. Well, I've been saying this
both
a lot
in
lately,
terms of-
but Chard, you and I can say whatever the hell we want. Who's your vote?
I think Jaws is garbage. I think it's awful. I think Jaws is. I'm surprised. I'm shocked. That game looks and plays terribly. I remember playing it as a kid, being like, "What the hell am I even doing?" And the boat goes side to side. What boat
Me
goes
too,
side
but
to
I
side?
do it again and again.
Listen.
I need you
Star
to do
Wars
the
has a
Chivos for this one
story.
now.
Luke has a story we are unfamiliar with at this point in time. He could be a marauder of Jawas and just playing dumb and playing innocent. He might have gone into Mos Eisley's cantina and just completely annihilated everybody in there last week, and that's why they're pissed at him.
Sure.
Do me a favor for a second. Do me a favor. Imagine you played Jaws and then you watch Jaws 4. How disappointed are you? Now, imagine you've never seen the Star Wars movie, A New Hope, and you play Super Star Wars, and then you watch the movie it's based on. How disappointed are you that Luke isn't killing everything and everybody?
And where are the fucking scorpions?
Yeah. Nobody gets
Where
shot
are
in
the
the face and
scorpions?
goes flying off the
why?
street.
You know why there are no scorpions? Because Luke.
How many
cleaned them all out.
Jawas survived? How many
Wow.
Jawas survived that
How
first
many
movie
takes
that
are out
shouldn't
there?
have
There's
if you
like
played the
500
game?
fucking
I love
Jawa
the
things
passion.
rolling around.
I love the passion.
I
I want
Jaws
everybody
is
to know.
terrible.
Look,
I don't know why we're even having this discussion.
if Werewolf is raising his voice level, it means something. Yes, there's a P in something. Okay, something.
Wow,
If Chard is speaking loudly, it's just
It means
because
I
it's
need
having
water.
coughs. We love
It's because everybody else is louder than me, and I'm trying to get over that. If
Uh,
you can't
I-
agree, be louder. That,
But I will
Oh.
say this: I feel like Luke from Super Star Wars, the video game, was probably the inspiration for Rey from the sequel trilogy, in that he's just unexpected or inexplicably OP'd and just able to kill anything
Yeah.
with little to no effort. So I'm going to go with Star Wars as well, and so Star Wars moves on to the next bracket. Okay, very good. So second bracket. Actually, both of these are going to be ones that Chard had brought up. So we're going to start with you on both of these. Chard, the NES Friday the 13th.
oh God.
Tell us, why does this game suck as a movie adaptation?
I don't understand how the movie and the game even marry to one another. It doesn't make sense. You're a child, a camp counselor at Camp fucking Crystal Lake, running around in a goddamn circle. Are there wolves in the original? I don't remember Friday the 13th. Were there wolves out in the middle of the damn woods
There
just
could be.
completely ruining your life?
Who
Camp
was the
Wolves.
bad
I
guy
don't
from the
remember
first
the
Friday
wolf.
the 13th movie? Do you guys remember?
The wolves.
No, it was actually.
Wolves.
Sorry, hang on. It was Mom.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
it Mom? Yeah,
yeah.
it was Mom.
Okay.
The
Jason
game
Voorhees
doesn't.
is his mom.
The game's adaptation of the movie is absolutely asinine. And let me tell you about the fucking music. Holy God. Hey, Jim, we need a song for this. Oh, man, I only wrote like 13 minutes for this thing. That's fine. Just loop it. Just loop it.
Just
And
loop
then
it. Yeah.
when a kid's in
It's
trouble,
fine.
just make it sound like a car horn.
Yeah.
Burp,
Right.
burp, 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 and make it happen the entire time. Also, let Jason just get beat up by rocks. That's fine. Chase Jason off with rocks. And then we're going to have zombies. Where are zombies in this fucking movie?
Oh,
Did I
thought they
miss
were-
that?
I thought they were wolfmen.
I don't know what the hell they are.
Also not in the movie.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I mean, they could be disgruntled Vietnam veterans that are still in their ghillie suits that are just popping up out of nowhere. I don't know. That would make more sense than what the hell is happening in this game right now.
Let's
So-
assume these kids that you're playing as are 5 foot tall. Okay, we'll just say that. Maybe they're short or whatever. How are they jumping 15 foot in the air? You know, I don't know, 6 meters in the air.
And why?
It's ridiculous.
And
Look,
why?
you give kids s'mores.
Each counselor that you play as have a different stat, but they all look the same.
Yeah.
So I don't remember who I'm playing. I'm playing as white shorts guy. No, I'm
Okay.
playing as
It
pink,
says,
pink
it says at the
blouse.
top. It
girl.
says
Yeah.
at the top.
You're Chris.
Mark.
It's Mark.
Get fucked, Mark. Whatever. They
And he
all
does.
look the same.
Has
And why
anybody
does
here
Jason
beaten
have
this game?
a freaking battle axe? When did that come in? None of this makes any goddamn sense.
No.
Here's what I want,
So-
Shard.
Yeah.
I want you to 200% this. I need the Chivos, please.
Nope.
Please.
I tried to do this on a randomizer in a charity event, and it was awful.
Everybody in
even play
Discord,
it.
go ahead and sign off if you want Chard to get the Chivos on
Nope.
this, please. That would be great.
Not happening.
Dragon's Lair
Not
or,
happening.
or Friday the 13th Chivo
No.
set. Team building,
Neither.
right?
How's
Come
that
on.
The thing
sound?
is, I think you
How
can beat
about
this game fairly
303
quickly
Final
and
Fantasy
easily.
4 complete edition achievements? How's that sound? Because that's what we're
Nah,
doing.
nobody wants to see
Please wait
that.
to self-promote until the end of the episode.
Clearly.
Okay, thank you. I'm messing with you. Okay,
Please
so
do play
Chard
yourself.
hates this game. Says the game makes no sense when compared to the movie, and even if it wasn't based on the movie, still a shit game. Yes.
Are those Yetis? Like, what is appearing in the woods?
I think I saw a Womp
Can we
Rat.
find Bigfoot
A
out
womp
in
rat,
Crystal
nice.
Lake?
I
That seems
saw-
like
Yeah.
a bigger deal to me.
I think I
It's
saw
like-
Sarlacc.
Not only
Sinister.
is there a murderer, an undead murderer running around, but there's cryptids in the goddamn forest on top of that. Seems like a big deal. I don't know.
I love it.
What were you
Uh,
going to
sorry.
say?
No, Sinister, have you played this? Have you
No,
far have you
I've
gotten
watched
this?
a number of people play it though.
Say what?
I have not, but I've watched a
Okay.
number of people play this.
What are your thoughts? What's your take on
Well,
this?
My thoughts are I'm in complete agreement with Chard, honestly, because really it is running in a circle, going into cabins, finding random shit that
Or nothing.
may or may not or nothing. Notes that tell you, oh, it's in the woods. You go into the woods and I don't know what I'm looking for, but it's
Yeah,
there.
what's
And
in
then-
the woods? Candy? Sex? A dead body? Why am I going into the
Wait,
damn
wait, wait.
woods?
all of
Crystal
those would be
car?
better.
lit.
All of those would be better than this game. All of the, including the dead body.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
And
Wolf,
then
Oh,
you
strong
finally get Jason, not his mom. You get Jason,
Yeah.
and you have like an axe throwing contest, like
Yeah.
and then
You
he
gotta
runs
dodge him.
away. He runs
dodge
away.
him. 3 times.
Yeah.
He runs away.
he's an undead zombie. He's not an idiot. Wolf, what do you think about this game? What's your take?
I hate this game. It's absolute trash.
Thank you, Wolf.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
And somehow I put it in more times than Jason revived himself.
Mhm. Yeah, this is
I
one
had
of
this
those
game
things-
growing up. I
Yeah,
wish I didn't.
right. Yeah, and because when you're a kid and you're not allowed to see the movie, but you own the game, you feel like you're getting away with
Oh, I-
something.
Yeah.
But you're
Nah,
not.
I saw the movies.
You're
I
not.
was not.
Oh shit!
My
bad.
parents were not overprotective.
I'm still
but-
not allowed to watch it.
Yeah, it's like I wasn't super into horror movies aside from like Aliens, right? Like I love the
Yeah.
Alien
Oh,
franchise,
Aliens,
so I didn't
yeah.
watch a bunch of. I knew Freddy Krueger. I had seen a couple of those. I knew Jason. I had seen a couple of those, but I didn't know them well. But
Right.
you know who Jason is, right? Like you're
Yeah.
7 years old, you know who Jason is,
He's in the
especially in the
zeitgeist.
80s, right?
He
But
is the zeitgeist.
this game is such trash, and it was like.
Oh yeah, the water.
You know what Jason needs? More Castlevania and NASCAR.
and NASCAR.
I feel like
What's
I
wrong
feel
with
like they
NASCAR?
made this game.
It's
They made this
all a
game-
loop of left turns. That's what this game is. A loop of left turns.
This game was made and put out just so Castlevania 2 would look better by comparison.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
You're not wrong.
and
I
I'll
like-
say this. Okay, go ahead.
Even the programming on the change and pass and all that stuff, change is not even centered. It's like somebody
Right.
just like threw it the fuck up there and it's like drifting into the boundary of the box that they put it in. This game is so just, and why do the children's faces look angry that you're trying to save above? Oh no, are those your lives? I don't even know that the H up.
Those
the
are your
HUD display
character
doesn't
you're
make
playing.
sense.
Why-
as
yeah,
up
those-
there.
that's
Oh,
who
up
you're
there.
ta-
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
Why does Mark's
all-
face look like he's a demon? Why does his
They
face
all-
look like he's a
yeah.
demon?
He's
Not
smiling.
everybody
He's
can be
happy.
as
They
handsome as
have
you,
their
Sinister.
own problems, and Jason is not one of them.
This is great. We're being
Okay.
murdered.
Yeah,
Okay.
This is
I gotta
exactly
say
what I
something.
signed up for.
I gotta say
Okay,
Yeah,
something.
Jake, give it
All right.
to us.
Look, so there's a Friday 13th game that came out a couple of years ago. It's kind of like that. Was it Dead by
Dead by
Daylight
Daylight.
clone or whatever?
Yeah.
So one of the skins you're gonna unlock for Jason is the purple jumpsuit with the blue mask,
No shit.
callback to the NES game. This game had an impact on this franchise,
Yeah.
like it or
Well,
not.
Because 40 years
Owls.
later, they gave him a skin. I don't know.
Yes. Okay. Now that also, like in our last week's episode, we talked about ninja games and how we all liked the games that made you feel
That
like
was
a
7
badass.
days ago.
Yes, exactly.
At least,
But the games that made
give or
you feel like a
take.
badass. Do you not feel like a badass when you're on a
No.
campground, jumping 20 feet in the
No.
air, hurling
No.
battle axes
No.
at
How
zombies?
No.
You constantly
No.
feel like a wimp because everything is decimating you.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you have
Unless
even
you
when
to
you're
practice
early.
this game
Jason
for
gives you
hours a
fucking-
day, days out of your week.
Okay.
I
You
love
are
this
garbage in
game so
this
GP?
much.
game.
Okay. Is this a good game? No.
No.
But is
No.
it worse than the game it's up against? You should tell
I
people
don't know.
GP
Well, I
what
don't
the
know.
next
Let's
game.
see what it is.
We'll
What's
see
it,
what the
what's
next
it
one
again?
is.
Yeah.
The one thing I do want to say about this game that I enjoy is that you don't know when you're going to encounter Jason. And in that way, it reminds me of trying to find the Technodrome from Ninja Turtles. When you
Mm.
go through a door, you turn a corner, and there it is. You're like, oh, thank God. Or, okay, it's happening. It's kind
Everybody's
of
favorite part of the Ninja Turtles game.
so, yeah, right. So Friday the 13th or Jurassic Park
On the NES.
on the NES, yes. I'll start this one off. No, Chard will start this one off because it's his game, but then I'll go after him. I've got a very brief thing to say.
You go ahead. I started
think this
mine.
one- I think this game, Jurassic Park for the NES, is a better game than Friday the 13th by virtue of the other ports were not as bad. So at least it had some good version of it out there, or comparatively good. I think Jurassic Park is better than Friday the 13th for the NES. That's
No. That's a cop-out. We're not talking about other ports of this game, which are different. We're talking about this game, Jurassic Park on the NES.
We're
Is
talking
this game
specifically
trash or
about
not?
the NES.
Look at
Okay,
the screen.
okay.
It at least
No.
has Dino DNA. So I'll take this one. Thank you.
We need to clarify something here too, BT Dubs. The reason this game was selected by me was because you specifically requested that I relate the movie to the game as an adaptation.
Yes.
When the
Yes.
hell does
Yes.
Alan Grant carry a freaking bazooka at any point in the game?
That
When
was going
In
to
the
be
hell
deleted scenes.
Does
Clever
Alan
girl.
Grant walk into one of the many facilities and find question mark boxes on them
Yeah.
that have fucking bombs in them for some god awful reason that hurts you? When did that happen?
Yes.
When did he get fucking eaten by a Tyrannosaurus Rex in a boss fight? I don't remember a Triceratops stampede being the biggest pain in my ass in the entire goddamn game. No, lo and behold, this man is armed to the teeth more than fucking Rambo,
Yeah.
and he's running around here shooting compies because he doesn't. I don't remember compies being in the movie. They were in the book. I'll say that.
They
but
were
they
in the
weren't in the movie.
They were in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
In
were
the
in the movie.
second one,
No, they
No,
were
no,
in
the
the
first
one.
one.
Yeah, the
Where
first
were they
one.
in the first one?
They were there for a moment.
Not existent. That's where they were.
No,
'Cause they were,
they
in the
were
second
in the
one,
movie.
not the first one.
It was a
Which,
They were
which
not-
dinosaurs? Which dinosaurs are
The
we talking about?
Compies, the
little
little
runny guys.
lizard guys. They
were
were
in
not
there.
in the movie. They were in the book. They weren't.
Do they
They
have the
weren't. They were in the
Barbasol
second one.
can? That's what I want to know. Is Newman with the Barbasol can anywhere in this?
In this game?
No.
Or
Yeah,
does
somehow
anybody
I
say,
doubt it.
hold on to your butts?
No, I was
See,
going to
nobody
say
cares.
I was going to basically say what Chard said, which was as a movie adaptation, this is like you start with a bazooka
It looks like a trash can,
and then
or
and
something
then-
like it looks like a child picked up a PVC pipe that was broken on the road and was like, "Hey, it's my bazooka," and then
And-
they went with it.
well, and then
That's a
I
good
don't
day
remember in the movie when they were looking for ammo, when they were running around looking for ammo.
Why
and
did they
then
like the
I
nuts
also-
break?
At
I
least they got
also-
the bad guy correct. Friday the 13th had the wrong damn bad guy.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know.
Well, that
There were
that said-
only okay. There were only 6 dinosaurs in the original Jurassic Park movie. 6 different species of dinosaurs, and the little ones were not one of them. So there you go.
all right, all right.
Huh?
I could
Someone
did
sworn
his
they were in that
research?
movie.
Also,
How strange.
you know what? This game did not have enough Jeff Goldblum. Damn it!
No,
Nothing has enough Jeff
Where
Goldblum.
is the part of the movie where they're getting chased by little volcanoes?
Yeah.
yeah.
Where's the lava fields in
That
Jurassic
is pretty
Park?
bad.
When did they go to Mars in Jurassic
Oh.
Park? This is kind of
You
whack.
guys asked
Alright.
me. You guys asked me why I selected this game. I even
Yeah.
got the inquisitive Jake. Why
Yeah.
did you even pick this
I-
card? You sound like Jerry
Oh,
Seinfeld.
you know-
Why is it that we pick this game for
Alright,
our
can I-
podcast?
Can
Yeah,
I start this
really.
off?
Please.
Yeah. Go for it.
Let's start the voting here. Jurassic
Yeah.
Park, I don't think is as bad a game as Friday the 13th, but I think it is a far worse representation of its movie than Friday the 13th.
That's a good
And so
point.
I vote Jurassic Park being the worst of the two here.
I'm going to
Because
concur.
we're talking about their adaptation.
I am going to concur because at least I know they got the bad guy wrong in Friday the 13th, but at least there's a crystal lake and there are camp counselors like there is in the movie.
There's a crystal lake, and Jason is scary as hell. Like,
well,
that-
except for it was
that's
his
all you
mom
need.
in the first one, but that's fine.
Well,
And what's the
still,
deal with
but I
giant
mean-
piles of dino poop?
by the, once the game came out, we were 7 movies deep. So Jason was established, all right?
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
that's
pretty
fair.
deep.
That's
Okay.
fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
All right.
I'm with you. There is no scene that I have seen in scene that I've seen in Jurassic Park, the video game that was in the movie.
Except for
Okay,
your Dino
that-
DNA.
Those are good.
That's it.
Yeah, those are good things. I think I might be switching up to Jurassic Park on this one.
Yeah.
All right. So is that three of us
so-
so far for Jurassic Park?
Mm.
Yep.
Jake, what say you?
Again, Jason could be, or you wait, who say who? Are you Jake? Do you want me to go last? I'll go
Anybody?
last.
Yeah.
Yeah, here I'll
Jake,
go
you
real
go ahead.
quick. So like when you
Yep.
mentioned Jurassic Park for the NES chart, the reason why I question it is because I thought it was universally accepted that the SNES game was the worst of all of them, and that was most boring.
You know,
Because that's a game where you don't have bazooka in that game, but it's the same egg hunt. It did have some neat first-person sequences, but there's no guns in that one from what I remember. It was just literally just like a hide and seek of eggs. So that's why I thought that was worse. But watching this, and the volcanoes, the lava fields, the giant bazooka shooting cannonballs that are like mushroom clouding enemies, this does not feel anything like a Jurassic Park game should be. And my vote would also be that this is the worst of the two. I think Friday the 13th is good. No, none of these games are good. But I agree. It's more fitting of the movie, and it had a legacy, an impact in a later game.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to remember Jurassic Park at the NES. I think it's the worst of the two. So JP for me.
I in defense of the Jurassic Park game, even though I already voted it's the worst of the two. The Super Nintendo game, I have a buddy who absolutely loves the Super Nintendo game. And to be fair, it's got some really good music and some really cool design elements in it. I don't think it's a terrible game by any means. It's just not representative of the film.
Yep.
Gotcha. And that makes sense.
And that's
It's
the
a hard
argument.
thing to remember. Like, we're not voting
Yeah.
which game sucks more. It's which one's the worst adaptation. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Trevor, what do you got for us?
If we were going on games that were terrible,
Yeah.
and which of these two I would rather play, I would pick Jurassic Park as the one I would rather play
Right.
versus Friday the 13th.
Right.
But we are specifically on the vein of adaptation. So Jurassic Park, fuck that game. Absolutely not. There's no representation. I think it's a clean sweep through all of us that Jurassic Park's going to move its way up to its in the brackets as worst movie adaptation of this particular fight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Very good. Well, then let's move on to the next bracket, shall we?
Hmm.
I'm gonna. Okay. Fight Club for the PlayStation 2. Wolf, would you start us off
Alright.
on this one? Talk to us about Fight Club.
Sure. Okay, so this is a game. Let's start. Let me preface this with I love the Fight Club movie. The
Yeah, oh
reason
yeah,
I
it's a
love it
classic.
has
Oh,
changed
sure.
over the years, but I absolutely love the movie. Like it's still one of my all-time favorites. I have the soundtrack. I pop that into my CD player sometimes. Listen to that. I've read the book multiple times, and the game came out for PS2 back in the day, and I was like, I don't know, because like all the reviews and previews of it in the magazines were like, it's a fighting game, and I was like, Fight Club is not a fighting movie.
Yeah.
Like
Worst
one of my
one
buddies
scene.
describes it as the thinking man's action film, right? Because it's
Right.
barely an action film at that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
includes such action as, hitting golf balls off of the roof.
And
Right.
peeing
Right.
into chowder.
like it,
Uh-huh.
it's almost a Kevin Smith movie with how heavy it is on the dialogue over
Right.
anything else, right? It's so
Okay.
Fight
So,
Club
yeah.
the game was like, you know what? Let's take nothing about the movie except a handful of characters that you see beating the crap out of each other in the bar's basement and make an entire game out of those fight scenes, those handful of fight scenes in the game. And
Yeah.
then we got this guy right here for PS2. We got fight. Well, it was also on Xbox. And the entire game, like it's this weird story about how you're this dude who's looking for Tyler Durden. But like everybody's like, how'd you find out about Fight Club? You aren't supposed to talk about Fight Club. He's like, I don't care. I'm looking for Tyler Durden. And he's just getting his butt kicked the whole time, right? Like it's so stupid. And
Yeah.
like
And you fight in front of Paper Street House, just like in the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
A
like,
lot of fights took
you
place
fight
inside
on
the house.
like some of the locations I can forgive, like fighting outside of the bar. Sure, that happens in
Yeah.
the movie. Parking lots at the airport. Sure, I can see that being used as a location for Fight Club in various cities.
On
The
a
port,
container
sure,
ship.
okay, but never in Paper Street soap company's garden do they fight? That does not happen. And
That's
so
okay.
like this game is just doofy, and then it's got like Genesis SNES era cutscenes, right? You're seeing them on screen right here, where it's all stills, but then there's voice acting over it and sound effects to stills. So you hear people beating the crap out of somebody, but you don't see it. You see like a snippet in time from it. It's dumb. And then there's Bob. You see him, and he's got boob physics, which is
That's as is the style.
very
of it.
PS2 era,
Honestly,
right?
Yeah.
My brain goes to that Bob was the first character to design, and they worked really hard on him, and it took too long, so they just slapped everybody else together.
All the
What else
budget
is-
went
Now
to Bob.
I will.
Shirtless pallets.
I want to defend this game. Now that I've crapped all over this game, let me defend it just a little bit. The actual fighting game mechanics of this game are not terrible. And it brings some neat ideas to the table where, your characters are actually getting beat up through it. And that's not something I remember seeing a whole lot of, especially in that time. Like you see it now, but even still, like it's not a super common thing, right?
Right.
And it's and sometimes like if you go for a rematch, your characters are still beat up from their last fight, which is pretty cool. Not just yours, but the person you were just fighting. So they keep that, which is neat.
Okay. Real quick though, and I'm going to make my bit short because these episodes go long, but
yeah.
The reason this one this one for me might win out from the entire day, and here's why. Chuck Palahniuk, the author of Fight Club, and the movie is brilliant. Also, it's a nihilistic take on the toxic effects of consumerism.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the fact that they made this game undoes all of the good. It flies in the face of what the movie is about.
Yeah.
And because
that is exactly those were my words earlier.
Yeah. So but no, that's what I'm saying. Like this has to be the worst adaptation by virtue of that alone. It is like saying, you remember those Bible games they used to make for like the NES? If you had one of those, but it was really just like pro Satan, that would be the,
right.
It's that would be a horrible adaptation because, so that's my bit on this. I don't care if the fighting mechanics were fucking brilliant. This is undoing the point of the movie and the book. So that's me.
If
Also,
they had taken this story, the plot points of the movie, and interspersed them with battles between it, I could have come around on this game maybe a bit more. But the fact that the story has nothing to do with the movie, really, it's just the characters. And the fact that it's told not in cutscenes, but static images, like this is, like you said, like this is a Genesis game, is pretty freaking sad.
I think I could have forgiven this game if it were based on Project Mayhem and that mission.
Sure. Yeah.
And then interspersed it with Fight Club moments, right? But then it wouldn't have been Fight Club, right? It would have been Project Mayhem, and then they would have been like, well, we can't sell this as Fight Club. Like,
I mean, they could have done Fight Club, with like
so
colon
the point.
Project Mayhem, right? Like they could have sold it
they
as
could have
that,
subtitled
right?
it.
Yeah.
But this game definitely needed a little bit more of the film's actual intent in it, and it completely missed it.
Okay.
There's a thing that I can mildly appreciate as I agree with everybody's comment, how this completely undid the whole point of the fucking movie, which is what I think is ironic, and I thought it was funny. Is at least when that era of PlayStation 2 and Xbox 360, when they released movie games like this, it always seemed like that they may have a main character or something, but it was around what was going on. Let's take the Matrix game that was released during that time as well. It wasn't based. It was based on the movie.
You weren't Neo.
But it was its own thing, right? It was its own kind of thing. But you're not Tyler Durden or the narrator in this. You are a guy that's trying to find him. This game completely does not even have any reason existing, and if they could have just changed the title to, like you said, either the Project Mayhem thing or man fights dude with tits, I don't know, whatever they want to call it, at least they could make the spin-off of this is like based off of Fight Club, the fighting things of Fight Club or whatever. Make it Bloodsport. Just call it fucking Bloodsport.
I'd
play that. Yeah.
I think I'm agreeing with you that like Matrix, when it came out, the video game, like they also introduced the entire like like little short story matrix, videos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The little
animated.
animated
Basically
ones. Yeah.
made it so that you're like, oh, we have this entire universe, right? And so the
Right.
video game is in this universe. It's not, but
Yeah.
okay. I agree with every point. I have a couple additional points that are huge strikes against this game. And one of them is, why do they have bone-breaking cutscenes? Because that happened in the movie, right?
revolutionary.
They showed the X-ray and they showed somebody smashing an arm anyway. And then the other one, and I think this one buries this game forever. And this might put it in I might predict that this makes number one of the bad. Fred Durst is an unlockable character.
Done.
Yeah,
That's
you all remember
offline.
when Fred Durst was hanging out on their front porch for 3 days, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Of course he was. He was totally in the movie.
Did he do the soundtrack for the movie at all? Was Limp Bizkit in the
No.
movie?
It was
No.
it
Why
was
is
the
he in
entire
this
soundtrack
game?
of the movie.
Techno
Because
musician.
Tony
Just the
Hawk's Pro
Dust
Skater
Brothers.
said no.
It's the Dust Brothers, wasn't it?
It was the Dust Brothers.
Yeah, Dust
It
Brothers
was
did
the
whole
Dust
soundtrack.
Brothers.
Yeah.
And the Dust Brothers
Fantastic
get like
soundtrack.
3 tracks in the game, and then another guy, Scott Clausen, does the rest of the soundtrack, except for the opening demo movie
The
that
theme
introduces
song.
the game to you.
Yeah.
Is
And it's Fred Durst.
I don't know
Limp
what it's
Bizkit.
called, but it literally opens up with a Limp Bizkit song after the if this is your first night,
Yeah.
you have to fight, and then
Limp Bizkit.
fight, and it's Limp
Always
Bizkit.
wanted to
And we
say
were
that on
actually
this
discussing like, is this Limp Bizkit? And then you hear Fred Durst's little whiny singing at a point, and we're like, oh yeah, it's definitely Limp Bizkit.
podcast. Yeah.
That's the sound. that was accurate.
That was
You like
bang
that?
on. Yeah.
All right.
So we all agree this is a flaming pile of shit.
Yeah.
Let's move on. I think this one's actually a fun game. I'm not going to say anything other than that. This is one of Chard's Dick Tracy. I like Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy had a huge difficulty spike. It was quite difficult to get past. You had to put Fight Club against it. Fight Club has completely drained me of like anything. So,
Dick Tracy, what do you
it's
even
such
do?
a bad game.
But what's
It's such
how
a
do you
bad
play?
adaptation of the
Yeah.
game.
You drive
Dick Tracy
around.
is just
You interrogate. You solve little puzzles, and the game can be played multiple different ways.
I just
Yeah.
watched a guy spin
Okay.
off the board.
Yeah, you got it. You can pick up a super fist.
Yeah.
You just super fisted that guy.
Yeah.
Like when I played this game as a kid, I got more lost in Dick Tracy than I did in Roger Rabbit. Like I just didn't know what to do in this game. Like I just couldn't figure it out. The side scrolling stuff was okay. I just didn't know where to go. So that's why it was bad for me. I just didn't know how to play the game, I guess.
These Grand Theft Auto, pre-Grand Theft Auto overhead map driving games like this and Roger Rabbit and all that stuff. The problem with this, and again, it's not a movie problem. It's a game problem that like Jake said, you get so freaking lost, and the fucking difficulty spike in this game is just ridiculous. But because it's against Fight Club, it's gonna survive.
Yeah.
No,
Does
it's
anybody
not.
else have
No,
any
it's
other
not.
questions
No,
or
it's
things
not,
they want
'cause
to say about
remember,
Dick Tracy?
The worst carries on. This isn't going to survive.
Oh,
No,
well,
this is
okay.
a much better.
This will
better thing
survive
than-
on a positive note as opposed to the,
Yeah.
the
We won't have to
negative
talk about it
wave that
anymore.
we're riding
Yeah.
in this run. So,
yeah.
it's other than it's got the same character. I haven't seen Dick Tracy in freaking years, but I do recall it being like
either.
very, very off the cusp on it. But it's Roger Rabbit. It's essentially the same goddamn game with less tunes in it
Not
More
much
guns.
better than Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
and more
Yeah.
guns. There's a lot more
And-
guns
and
It
more
is- It
Madonna.
is much better than Roger Rabbit. Yeah, it
If
is.
only a little.
Oh, look,
But
a
I don't
clue.
remember a lot of
As it
people
points.
hiding and staying in
Yeah.
one spot or walking towards Dick Tracy and just letting Warren Beatty like give him a fucking shiner in the face. But it's my memory fails me. I'm an old man. Yeah,
I like
sorry,
this one.
Fight Club. I'm still on the Fight Club.
Like
Yeah.
what I remember
I'm-
from
I'm
Dick
voting
Tracy.
Fight Club to go on.
Dick Tracy, the
Yeah, me
game.
too.
At least it has the characters. At least it has, the
Yeah.
theme. Is it the exact story
Madonna's
from
in
the
there
movie? I
somewhere.
don't think so. But I think it's more in the spirit of the movie than Fight Club is. Where, like we just discussed at length, Fight Club, the game, is like one scene from that goddamn movie and completely skips the whole point of that book and
Yep,
movie.
yep.
It's just my vote is Fight Club is the worst of the two.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Concur.
Okay. Well, then let's advance Fight Club, and you'll like this segue. We'll start us off. The next bracket: Roger Rabbit. Who framed Roger? Who framed Roger Rabbit?
This
Okay,
fucking
I
thing.
love this game. I
Mhm.
love this game.
Really?
And yeah, I had this
Wow.
game as a kid, and I loved it. Like it's so cool that you can go find Benny the Cab and drive him around town instead of just walking around and dodging cars, getting run over, things like that. Birds stealing Roger off the ground and flying away with him.
Weasels being dickheads and
The
random
little
And you're-
wind up before
Yeah.
you punch. Yeah, there's some charm to it.
Please.
Yeah, you wind up your punch to deck things and people and cartoons and whatever have you,
Awful.
And like it's kind of cool because you can't just walk up to a person and talk to them and then punch them and they'll still want to talk to you. They're like buzz off or something like that, right? They get mad at you, which is nice.
It's
It
true to
makes
life.
sense. This, yeah,
True to
and
life.
this game throws a lot of the aspects of the movie away. It does,
Mhm.
but at the core of it, it's still find the will, get to Toontown, stop Doom from destroying the tunes.
So you're saying
Okay.
the story, the core skeleton aligns with the movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
You're
You
not
have
wrong.
to go find. Now, the difference is you're not finding the will, you're going around finding pieces of the will
Yeah.
between the city, the countryside, and Toontown. But
Yeah.
at the
Tell
same
Eddie
time,
Valiant
you're
to
going
take his
around in
goddamn
the city.
hands out of his jacket.
Look, but I mean, you're right. To me, I do have nostalgia with this game. I grew up thinking it was a good game, and then playing it as an adult and being like, "Oh, this sucks so much worse than I remember."
Oh,
it does-
no. I'm not saying it's an amazing game. I'm saying
Right.
I love it.
Yeah,
This is
sure.
different.
No, I get it. I know. I get what you're saying. Guilty pleasure, absolutely. And
Yeah.
for whatever reason, there's a memorable, albeit short soundtrack to it, and it does hit certain beats, like you said, from the movie. It's not great, but there are
But, I mean,
definitely worse
it's-
things on this list.
It also has
When you-
many locations from the movie, right? You got RK Maroon Studios. You got Valiant's location of work and residence.
The
You've
mountains.
got
The nightclub, right?
Yeah,
Is in this?
caves.
Yeah.
Random caves.
Yeah, you
that
have the
go
Ink and
into.
Paint
Random
Club.
cave, yeah.
You got
Why is Roger
Toontown.
gonna
You have
buy a
the
snake?
factory. Like
I don't
all
remember
these places
Snake
made
fighting
it
Roger.
into the game.
Oh my god, yeah, and you got to wait for this idiot Roger Rabbit. He just keeps getting knocked down. Ugh, I'm getting frustrated watching this. But as far as adaptations goes, again, it could be worse.
Could be
Does
worse.
anybody have anything else they want to weigh in with Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
No,
Any
I
good
want to know
memories,
what it's
bad
up
memories?
against, GP, because that's what I want to know.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, this is good, and this
Please tell
one,
us what it is.
this game needs to have this discussion. So sit down and buckle up. E.T. for the Atari 2600.
Can I
Okay.
can I say
First off,
something?
Roger
ET?
Rabbit is better. E.T. I think is going to advance, but let's talk about E.T.
What do you want to say, Jake? What do you want to
Just
say?
that, I mean, for the longest time, ET, I always thought was the urban legend that it was so bad that they buried it in a landfill, and then that was true because they dug him up. There's a whole thing where they dug them up.
Well, it wasn't so bad that they buried it. It didn't sell, right? And,
Right,
And
yeah.
part of that, this is, I think, where the discussion is going to come in. So I had this game as a kid. At 9 years old, I didn't think this was a bad game. But I also, at 9 years old, didn't mind baseball with its 4 players on the field, and like literally whacking them. Yeah, anyway. But no, the thing is as far as a movie tie-in goes, and we'll get to the other part of it, but as far as a movie tie-in goes, like you're hunting pieces of the relay, right? The communication device.
Yeah.
And you're being chased by the man, right?
The man in the yellow hat. Is he looking
Yeah.
for George?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And I mean, so your whole purpose is what ET's purpose is. You're trying to go home, right? So it is the skeleton framework of the movie. Now, is it a good game? No. And part of the reason why is because
Where in the movie were there holes every 5 fucking feet?
No.
I know
That's not even no. I want to contest your statement, and that's not even it. Not the holes, not wandering around the forest. How much Elliot do you get in this movie? In this game?
Well, 0.
You
No, I'm
get
sorry. You get
only
you get
time- no,
you get a
no,
moment.
you do get Elliot in the game.
Yeah.
You get Elliot after ET leaves.
That's
After
right.
ET leaves is when you finally see Elliot. You
That's
don't
right.
see ET
Yeah.
arrives, wanders around, does
Yeah.
all this stuff, leaves, and then you see Elliot.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
bearing did he have on this game?
Now that said, they gave
Why
the
is he stretching his
developer.
neck out to change this? I don't.
Well, they
get what's
gave the
going on.
To scare
developer.
people. I don't
They
know.
gave the developer like 6 weeks. They're like, this movie's coming out. Get this shit out by Christmas. Like, seriously, that was
Should've
like the
put
level.
Well, mouth in him then.
Though I will say this also. Technically, this is the second canonical Star Wars game that we have.
That's
on the
true.
list.
That's true.
It's true. So
But there is the piece of this that is it got buried in the desert because it was not. Everybody says this caused it, but it was not the cause of the
Yeah.
fall of video games. But it was a contributor. It was a pretty good contributor. Video games had already started going downhill, and then this piece of trash came out.
Yeah, the Atari 2600 hit a point in its lifespan where they were just pumping out games without any thoughts about quality. It was just quantity as much as possible. But like this game, it didn't cause the crash. It's just the trend that led to the downfall. And like it just kills me that Spielberg actually signed off on this game. He saw it. He
From
gave
what
input.
I heard, he literally looked at it and was like, and walked
Yeah,
away.
good enough. Yeah. But he had to get he got a pitch for this game and the developer gave him the pitch and then got signed off on this.
think about where video games were back then. Do you think he knew what he was looking at?
Well,
No.
I also think he
Fair.
has. I also think he has the, the part of it in the pitch that was like, you gave us 6 weeks. This is what we can get you. Like,
Yeah. Like
So-
I remember playing
Yeah.
this as a kid, and the thing that got me is one of the holes. There's a flower, and if you raise your neck, you can grow the flower. I just kept trying to figure out what was the point of that. Did I do
Nothing.
something? Is that progressing? What the hell am I doing in this game? I never could figure it out.
I don't think there's
Yeah.
progression from that at all.
Between the two, I think this one is the worst. So my vote would be for this one to move on. But I'd be shocked if this one wins the whole thing. For example, if this one goes up against Fight Club, this at least has ET in it. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but no,
Well-
the game is utter shite, and I wish it wasn't. I'm glad that the reports of its shittiness has been at least a little bit over exaggerated, but it is still horrible.
Like I do want to
ET
say
looks
that
like
I
a
would have voted.
velociraptor.
I was also going to say Roger Rabbit would be worse, but then when Wolf explained the plot points of the game, and you're not
Yeah.
wrong, they do line up with the story. And if we're looking at game in terms of adaptation of a movie, Roger Rabbit is actually the better adaptation than whatever the hell ET
true.
is.
It's true.
So, yeah, my vote would also be for ET to move forward as the worst of the two.
Yep.
So we got 2 for ET to go on. It sounds like 3 with Sinistar. 4. Is it swept? ET moves on.
Looks like it.
Okay, that's gonna be fun.
Seems like
All right, so let's see. Next one. I love this movie. Fifth Element, PlayStation 1,
Okay.
and that was brought to us by Jay.
Yeah. Well, let me pull up some footage of this one while I'm talking.
Let's talk about it.
So this one I brought up because
Game is so bad.
I bought this game.
Oh.
I bought this game, and you know why? Could be 3 reasons. 1, it was $10. Okay. 2,
You overpaid.
it had it advertised having cut footage of the movie in the game because there is
does.
scenes in the movie in the game.
It does.
And 3, Lilu. Fucking I like Mila Jovovich. So like those are my 3 reasons for buying this game. I was a horny teenager, so sue me. I bought it. But and you know what? Compared to Fight Club, which is PS2, this is PS1. PS2 Fight Club has static screens for the cutscenes. This actually has movie footage, and it's not that low res. It looks pretty good. But
No,
the
I'm watching it. It
gameplay,
looks great.
yeah,
Mhm.
my God, the gameplay is terrible. Like it's just the side hops, the roll, the tuck and roll, the gun mechanics. It's just so hard to play. And to make it worse, it's not just a shooting game. It's a fucking 3D platformer. A 3D platform on the PlayStation, which is already hard to do, right?
Mhm.
But this is like a notch above Bubsy. And that's not saying much. Like this game controls
I
like
like-
ass. So
I like that in the very beginning of the intro, it spoils the movie.
oh yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming
Yeah.
this I'm assuming they went. These people had to have seen the movie. They bought the game.
But spoils the movie, but yet not telling you anything
that's-
about what you're doing in the game at the same time,
No.
which is unique.
I haven't played
you say
this, so
it
you guys are
spoils
gonna have
the
to.
movie. But
What's
that
that?
opening cutscene, I watched it and I was like, okay, if I had not seen the movie, I would have no freaking clue what the hell is happening.
Yeah.
Right now.
Right.
It was just
Yeah.
everything. They're just like,
Yeah.
look at all these high concept ideas. Like, you get this right, you get that right, you get these things right. No, I don't understand anything that just happened. You haven't even shown me Gary Oldman yet. What's happening?
Or did they? And he's just so good an actor, you couldn't tell.
Heroes.
He's in the opening.
Steven Dawes runs like Homer Simpson, though. By the way, he has Simpsons running, physics. So, as somebody who hasn't played the video game, though, how closely does this align with the movie plot?
Not
It's
at
been a
all.
while since I
Somebody
played
said-
it, but it's kind of the movie plot. I mean, kind of, but
No.
you mostly get the plot from the movie scenes, but the levels
Where's the
themselves are
scene
not
where
movie.
Lilu is literally karate chopping the fucking police?
Right.
I don't remember that part in the
Okay,
movie. She doesn't get
but in-
fighty until she does her studying of the world. That's when
Fine.
she starts getting fucking aggressive.
But in the movie, there's a scene where she's escaping the police, and that's what this is
Yeah.
from.
She not-
This is
she
the
not fight him
interspecies.
like that.
Well, they gotta like
Nope.
pat things out.
Quit defending it.
Where
Jake.
was
Stop.
where was the part in the movie where Corbin Dallas uses a computer to break open a vent?
Everybody's
Die
favorite
Hard.
scene.
Come
Yes. It's got Ruby Rod.
If you
It's
can't
got a
play as
3D
Chris
Ruby
Tucker
Rod.
in this, I don't want to play it. If I can't be
He's
Ruby
in there.
Rod, I don't want to play it.
Oh well.
He's in it, but can I play as
He
Ruby
is
Rod?
in
No,
it.
he's not playable.
He yells at you.
There's got to be a Game
Yeah.
Shark code for that. Come on.
He screams at you between levels.
You
Yeah.
know, I remember this part in the movie where Lilu is literally doing jungle gyms.
Calisthenics?
Yeah.
Jungle gyms to get from building to building instead of diving off the building and into the cab.
When did she have grenades? When were grenades used?
No clothes, but
Not
has
only
grenades.
does this game not seem to hold all that close to the movie,
Where
but
did
also
she
the
have
developers
the
were
grenades
like, hey, we really enjoyed Bubsy 3D and Fade to Black. Let's mash them together and it'll be a huge hit.
That's hilarious.
my
Two of the
God.
worst PlayStation games I've ever played.
Somebody played this and
awful.
said, we got to get on it with Spider-Man.
Why did the train
Yeah.
stop and go backwards?
Yeah. Do trains do
Where
that?
was
Like,
that scene? When did she run on the train tracks? She was stuck up against a wall.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
it's a bad game. It's definitely
Man,
a terrible
terrible.
game.
this is not.
But the question is not, is this a bad game? It is this game better than Terminator 2 for DOS?
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Yeah, you gotta explain this one.
Okay. As far as a movie adaptation goes, okay. There's a scene where you escape the hospital by taking out the
I mean-
T-1000. Okay. There's a scene where you escape. As far as it goes, there is a scene where you are riding your motorcycle with John Connor on your back, trying to escape the diesel that is driven by, which, by the way, in the manual it was described as an automated lorry. But
I mean,
I may have gotten the European manual.
It's a British
Sounds like you
game.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
But there is a scene where you
Joan, grab
are
onto the lorry.
there is a scene where you are driving away from the truck, trying to escape.
Here it is.
There is a scene where you have to repair the Terminator's arm, which there was a scene in the movie where he repaired his own arm. Now, the one scene that I struggle with is there's a scene where you have to put the Terminator's face back together.
As a slidey block puzzle. It's great.
Yeah. Now, as far as gameplay goes, this game is trash. This game is trash. Like, the controls are bad. The controls are bad. You remember as a kid, we all got those little slidey numbered puzzles as like
Yes.
in our Christmas stocking. It's
Final
like our
Fantasy
parents.
I
I
One.
did that.
Yeah.
We did that on
Uh-huh.
Scorn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Every child loves that game. So why not put it in here twice? One for the
did I
arm
see
puzzle.
This is LJN.
Yes.
this is
LJN's,
oh, it is LGN and Ocean.
LJN's on a lot of this list. Surprisingly.
if you
To no
want to
one's
at least
surprise.
talk movie adaptation,
Look at this cop chilling on the fucking brick wall like he's Wilson from Home Improvement, asking how things are going while
Look.
he's shooting at you.
Hey there, neighbor.
I get
Hey,
that
bud,
there's
Pick up that copy today. Pow, pow.
I get that there's one scene in this video game that doesn't really align, but like two, because there's the face puzzle. But other than that, the game does actually follow the story,
The plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the plot. So as far as an adaptation goes, is it a bad game? Fuck yes. Does it follow the story for a decent amount?
Okay.
Okay,
I gotta
so
say that slide puzzle thing's got me questioning life.
There is a
Who
scene.
signed off on that?
Wait, there's a scene where he takes on the T-1000 in the metal factory. Like that actually happens.
that happens.
Like-
yeah.
Yeah.
I like that cop
Why does
was
each
on the other side
character
of the
look
brick
like
wall.
dude that played each character, the sprite of the characters, they both look like the dude that played Bishop in Aliens.
Yeah.
I can't remember his real name, which upsets me.
Lance Henriksen.
Oh, man.
Lance Henriksen.
Lance Henderson.
Lance
Yeah.
Henderson. Why do they look like Lance Henderson in this?
That's
So
a good.
However,
Before this episode, Sinistar, you gave me some video footage to use, and it was like 2 minutes, right? You can only last 2 minutes in this game because of how trash it is.
It
and
is
then
so
you got
bad
me
to play.
You got me a full playthrough of it on YouTube, and it's 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Such a short ass game.
Yeah.
It's like the plot of T2 condensed into 11 fucking minutes. If you can stand it that much.
Now they do use a few actual this came on one floppy disk back in the day. So to give you an idea of how much space it had, and it had FMV footage. Now, sure, they were literally 3 seconds long, but from the movie itself, actually in the trivia, they took that specifically from the trailer because they actually didn't have the movie footage when they made this game.
That's how you know it's going to be shit. When the game comes out before the movie's been seen.
But they had all the major plot points in this game though represented.
I'm gonna be disappointed that this one doesn't move on as the worst because in its comparison it did roughly follow the movie. But don't play this game, people. Don't play this game.
So okay, then let's get to it. Let's get to the voting on this one. Which was the worst video game adaptation of a movie? Fifth Element for the PlayStation 1 or DOS Terminator 2?
Fifth Element.
Fifth Element?
Fifth Element.
Yeah, this is weird.
Okay.
When I saw T2 Sinistar, when you showed him T2, I thought that for sure would be the worst. But now
if we
if
we were going on gameplay, this one would lose.
But you're right in terms of movie
We
adaptation
are a
and
little
watching
out of our. We're out of our element a little bit here because we usually are complaining about gameplay.
Shut up, Donnie.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
when we look at in terms of movie adaptation, because Fifth Element is trash.
Love you, Chard.
But I'd rather play that more than T2.
Like a child that walks into
Yeah.
the middle of a conversation.
Yeah. All right. Fifth Element is the worst of the
Fifth
two
Element,
for sure.
moving on.
Yeah.
As
Okay.
far as adaptation.
Yeah.
So we've got one more bracket to do to introduce
And then
new
we got a
games, and
speed
then
run round 2.
yes,
Yes.
and then we'll get to the finale here. Okay, Wolf, your game, Dirty Harry,
Mhm.
for the NES.
Oh, God. Where do I begin? All right. So this is a game. It's called Dirty Harry, but it's actually it is not based on any one movie from the Dirty Harry franchise. Instead, it's supposed to be its own story within the Dirty Harry franchise. So for those who don't know, Dirty Harry is actually 5 movies, right?
Oh.
Dirty Harry was just the first of the 5.
I
Right.
actually didn't know that.
Any
Thought it was like
any
one
which way but
movie.
loose.
No, no, there's a whole Dirty Harry series.
I didn't know that until today.
So it's like a
So-
Bond type situation. There's more movies. Okay.
Yes,
This full of dollars.
but yeah. So
I didn't know
there's 5 movies based around the character of Harry Callahan.
Live Free or Dirty Harry.
Live free or die, Harry.
Now, let me read you the story of this real quick. Harry Callahan is a San Francisco police detective who rarely follows police protocol. A powerful drug lord known as the Anaconda has created a burgeoning drug smuggling operation by recruiting all of San Francisco's drug gangs. Harry must crack the case and take down the kingpin himself on Alcatraz. Literally, the villain is already based himself in a prison.
That's hilarious.
Now,
That's
I
hilarious.
don't I can't say with certainty that I've seen any of the Dirty Harry movies. I probably have. I don't remember them. But I feel like there's not a whole lot of lasers shooting across the floor in Dirty Harry films.
Snakes.
Why is there a
Snakes,
snake on
Don't
the
know how
ground?
many snakes he's jumping on.
Listen, I don't know how many of you have been to San Francisco, okay? But in some of these rundown buildings, there's fucking snakes out there, okay?
Do you shoot them with a gun?
And-
well, you know what? You guys are
Oh,
Americans,
jump
so
on
maybe you
them.
do. Maybe you do.
Jump
Yes.
on them to daze them.
Okay, I
That
retract. it.
giant guy just
And for
punched
whatever
him across
reason-
the screen.
For whatever reason, you were like cool guy 80s movie dude
Yeah,
instead of Clint Eastwood throughout this entire movie.
you look like
Mhm.
Charlie Sheen with those glasses. That's what. It looks
Yeah,
Dude.
like
like you don't look like Clint Eastwood at all.
no.
This is horrible.
But to this game's credit, it uses two digitized lines from the Dirty Harry franchise.
Go ahead and make my day.
Yeah, you turn it on and it's go ahead, make my day.
Yeah.
And I think when you get a game over, you get the go ahead, do I feel lucky?
Mm.
Okay.
I personally remember in the movies when he kicked open chests of drawers to find things. I remember that.
When did
So
Michael
you're-
Jackson show up in the film?
Why is his
That
clothes
criminal
change
is
color
smooth.
all of a sudden? Why did he go from blue to white?
Is that
You can buy a suit from some dude just flipping a
Yeah,
coin
Michael
in a
Jackson
hallway.
was
What?
I don't know
selling
what it
suits in San
does,
Francisco.
but you're
Yeah.
just buying a suit in a back, like not even a back alley. It's literally like the hallway,
changing
second
clothes
floor hallway
with
of a
him.
slum.
He's
He's
on his
changing clothes with you.
way to do the Smooth
Oh,
Criminal
is that what it is? You're
movie.
trading suits?
Yeah.
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 There's
They're
so
very
many
Bee Gees.
snakes.
Now you
And the
look
white-
like Saturday Night
Very
Fever.
good.
Now you look like John Travolta.
I always thought those
As you-
snakes looked like belts.
They
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
So-
GP, are you okay?
I
Are
gotta
you
say
okay, GP?
this. I gotta say this. If this, I mean, it looks horrible, but I do kind of want to play it.
I kind of want to go
And
play it again.
I'm
too,
not
honestly.
pro drugs per se, but can we appreciate the fact that somehow this one drug unified the entirety
Right.
of the drug cartels? I mean, good
Maybe
for them
we're
for getting
missing
their act together.
Maybe
and
we're missing
unifying,
the
but-
point. Maybe we should be saying yes instead of no.
No, but I will say, no, I'm going to keep that to myself. I'll tell you guys off air. John Mulaney did a really good bit about a Clint Eastwood movie called The Mule, and how just a lot of his movies seem to be just really fantasizing how OP'd Clint Eastwood is. So he
Mhm.
could, this one man who doesn't follow police protocol, which I don't think would be a policeman for very long.
Right.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna get myself in trouble here. But yeah, he can take down the entirety of the drug cartels. Come on, man.
You're not wrong
on.
though.
Yeah,
The
it's
fact that they're
very-
already in prison and or on Alcatraz is really funny. I'm glad you said that, Wolf.
Like I would believe Sylvester Stallone and his mom doing more damage than that.
Jeez, he's not reading anybody their rights. He's just opening fire.
Just shooting.
Yeah, maybe
Judge,
this
jury,
is-
and
yeah.
executioner, man. Come on.
Is that a batleth?
Jeez.
Is this
This is
Star Trek? Is that a Klingon? What's he hitting
Could be.
him with?
When they die though, they disappear. They fall down. They don't go flying off the screen.
I
like
like
an
that he
Ewok.
holds up the batleth. He's like running around. He's like, I will fuck
Yeah.
you up.
This game is.
Just so you know, I got a
Okay.
ballot.
I think
So-
it's a trash can lid.
But
Okay, the bulletproof trash can lids. I love that.
Yeah, of
but
course.
to
love that
clarify
for
though,
That makes it
Fucking
even
strategically
funnier to think of
positioned
like
all
that.
all through the South Bay.
okay. But to,
Okay.
but
I
to
like,
clarify,
I like the realism.
Yes.
I like the realism of the drunken bum hobos in the buildings. I like the
You
realism.
must be
How
running
did they
up
get
and
to
down Haight
Alcatraz?
Ashbury.
They're notoriously, Anyway, go ahead,
Okay,
Jake.
so
sorry, go
just to
ahead.
clarify, this isn't actually based on a movie, though. This is just
No.
a character, right?
Character, yeah.
Yes.
So that
But it
might
is
just
named after the movie.
It is
Okay.
named
Anyway-
after the movie, but I believe we're already 4 out of 5 movies deep by the time this game comes out.
And yeah, so it's kind of like Friday the 13th in that regard. I
Okay.
don't see this one moving forward by virtue of who it's up against. Ladies and gentlemen, Street Fighter the movie, the video game.
What a game! What a game.
The game that became a movie that became a game.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
it was
I
released on a Friday, but to me,
It was a
it was a
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday.
All right. So really, I wanted to start this discussion by saying simply one word about this video game. Why?
Why
Yeah.
not?
Who was wanting this?
Who was saying we have this video game that we made into a movie? Let's make that movie into a video game.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you
Capcom,
why.
of course.
Well,
I'm
it's
just
because of Mortal
stop
Kombat.
animation of Raul Julia
Yeah.
in this game.
Yeah, this was Capcom's answer to Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
while still keeping it Street Fighter. This
Yeah,
let
right.
them venture into the digitized graphics area without abandoning the Street Fighter name, right? And
Yeah.
without
For
throwing all
one
they've done
game.
with Street Fighter out the
For
window.
one game.
Well, I mean, it's not a good game, so it didn't give much incentive
many-
to do more of these.
Yeah,
How
unless
many
this game
platforms
came
was this
packaged.
released on?
Unless
At
it- I
least
don't know.
PlayStation, Saturn, at least, if not, and then it's of course arcade. I play this in the arcade, but it's at least the PS and the Saturn.
If this game didn't come packaged with a little bit of cocaine, then
Right,
I'm saying
right.
it deviated from the movie.
Right.
But you know,
I
though,
want to
I
know
feel itchy
when,
just
yeah.
watching this.
when M. Bison flies through the air, does he have his cool movie shoes in Street Fighter the movie, the video game?
I don't know. Rest in peace, Raul Julia, man. We lost
Yep.
him too soon. This is another case of prolific actors whose final projects were kind of below their acting ability. I would also like to mention, I'm going to hurt myself for this one later on. Unicron,
Mm.
played by Citizen Kane.
Mm.
Orson Welles was his final
Mm.
movie role.
Mhm.
It's Orson Welles. He absolutely should have probably done a more prolific or more important, I should say, final project. But
yeah,
he was a big part of my childhood just for that movie alone. And again, here, Raul Julia, iconic for a number of things. Certainly not this.
Right.
I don't know. He still sold that. He still sold that whole fucking character.
Yeah, it was a horrible adaptation, and then
Yeah.
they tried to explain his powers somehow. But yeah, he is the part that made the movie.
I'm
other than,
sorry, if you watch the movie, I'm going to talk about the movie for a second. If you watch the movie and you look at the movie as like whoever wrote the script was actually doing it as a parody, it's
Mhm.
great. It is front to back fantastic. As long as you go into that movie realizing this is a parody movie.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Raul Julia is a professional actor, and he gave the role his all. That's all there is to it.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Like to
Yeah.
get to this game
And-
though, like yes, it's an MK, it's a dig at MK and a chance to try to do the stop motion animation. It actually doesn't look that bad in terms of like the graphics. Like the animations are pretty fluid for what it is. I mean, it's no Street Fighter 2, but it looks good. But I remember playing this in the arcades, and the controls were janky as hell,
Mm.
and that's why I remember this game being so trashy. Is that the controls sucked.
Now, as far
Somebody
as an
stop
adaptation,
spamming Ken. Jesus Christ.
as far
Yeah.
as far as the adaptation goes, does this actually carry any of the story from the movie?
I don't know. Is there story stuff in
I
this
mean,
game?
they fight.
Was there
Well,
story in
right.
the movie?
Uh,
You know
This
damn
might
well there
actually be at
was.
This
Buys in
might be a
dollars.
better adaptation of the game to the movie to the game than the game and the movie.
This is horrible, guys.
It looks like
it's
the
hard to
How
ending-
that
watch.
makes sense.
This is the same level of cringe for me as like the ending videos from Twisted Metal. It's just that level of hard to watch. But that said, which was a worse adaptation, this or Dirty Harry for the NES?
So I'm just looking at the story stuff from a match, and there's an ending screen for Ken. Has nothing to do with the movie, and there's no
Okay.
intro. So there's no story mode in
Why?
this. It is a fighting game, though. It has
Why
the
is
characters. Yeah.
Why is Cammy in the background in chains, like doing her go-go dance? Like, when did we go to like
Yeah,
a club?
Yeah,
I don't
the
know.
club. The
Yeah.
Fight
I-
Club. Jeez,
Can I
Yeah,
mention
I'm gonna-
that Capcom did not have any faith in this game in North America? The home
Really?
console
Why?
version in North America was published by Acclaim.
Oh,
North America and Europe, Acclaim published it.
Yeah, I
At
can
least
see
they
that.
got Vega's chest rightfully oiled for the stop motion.
Well, and I don't remember. I
And
don't remember.
Cammy's thighs,
I don't
apparently.
remember Kylie Minogue. I thought she actually wore more in the movie than is like, because this is Cammy, the video game Cammy. I thought she wore more clothes. I thought Kylie Minogue in the movie. I thought Kylie Minogue wore clothes. Like
I thought at the end of the movie, they all kind of wore their video game inspired outfits, and that's what they're pulling from. I think
okay.
that's what it was.
Why did
I don't know.
Raul Julia
out of my
so slowly?
head.
I just don't
Raul
understand.
Julia was not actually in the game, by the way. He was supposed to be. He met the staff who were working on the game and was going to be in it, but he was already sick, so he could
Yeah.
not participate. So they got his stunt double,
Okay. Interesting.
but he had intended to partake.
I want to say that in terms of like the story adaptation, this versus Dirty Harry is not really based on a specific movie. This is movie characters, but not really based on the movie either.
Was
They're both
Akuma
fair in
the
that
movie?
regard. No, he's not.
But-
He's-
either can both
but he's
games
in this
just go
game.
away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, is it really important that either of these move forward?
Yes, it is. We have to be.
one,
We have to
One
one
hold.
is worse than the other.
I'm picking Street Fighter because there's characters in this movie or in this game that were not in the movie.
But were there
And it's really
snakes?
bad.
There
but
were
there
snakes in Dirty
the
Harry that
Dirty
weren't in the
Harry
movie.
movie?
Yeah.
But Dirty Harry is implying it actually has a subtitle, I guess, in some parts of the world. So it was treated as its own story. But
Okay.
Dirty
okay.
Harry, not
does
based
this
on a movie.
game- does this game have a story mode? Does it have where you go through and there's cutscenes? Because a lot of Street Fighter games actually do give you story and an ending. Does this give
No,
you anything from the movie in that regard?
I fast forward to the ending of this playthrough, and there's a short static screen about Ken living the good life after the matches, but nothing to do with the movie at all.
Wow.
Yeah,
I don't know, but it does have Ming Na Wen, and so
she's
I mean,
great.
I'm in. She's
Well,
I do
fantastic.
like her.
And Kylie Minogue. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Ming, I don't know much about Kylie Minogue, but Ming Na Wen, tremendous.
Chart gets me. Chart gets me.
Can't get you out of my head. Yeah, it's Kylie Minogue.
Oh,
I
okay,
think-
cool.
I think Dirty Harry's worse than this. I never thought I'd say
Yeah,
that, but I think it's worse.
Okay. Well, I'm going to vote for Street Fighter, the game, the movie, the game.
I'm on the Street Fighter train too.
Yeah, that's where I'm going down. Mostly because I want to see how this one's going to fare against some of these other ones. It's
I gotta.
Yeah.
I gotta go Street Fighter with you guys because
Okay.
it's
Okay.
just, it's not.
Street
At
Fighter.
least
There's no story.
movie.
It's just
Dirty Harry
It's
is
literally just a
admittedly
fighting
not
game based
based
on a
off
movie character.
anything.
This is literally called Street Fighter, the movie, the game.
Yeah. Street Fighter the movie, the game should have had plot points and cutscenes from the movie.
Yeah,
Dirty Harry
game.
was like, let's insert this as like an additional entry into the franchise.
Yeah,
And
its
I mean,
own
at
thing.
least it was true to, Clint Eastwood running around as a dirty cop killing a bunch of people,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
If he was dressed
Well,
like Charlie
still
Sheen
truer.
with sunglasses, but okay, all right.
And occasionally Michael Jackson.
There was more cocaine in the last game than Dirty Harry game. And they
And
were
the first-
trying
and the-
to form
yeah.
a drug. They were getting together as a drug cartel. So let's
Yeah, the
just-
Dirty Harry
Yeah.
game was about drugs. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Okay, all right.
drugs
okay,
and
so
bonding.
round two. Now that we've discussed these games, I think we can all. I mean,
This is
Rapid
we'll
the
go a
fire.
little bit
lightning
quicker
round.
now with
This
this.
is the lightning round, folks.
Yeah.
Okay, round two: Star Wars or Super Star Wars for the Super Nintendo versus Fight Club for the PS2.
Fight Club. Come on.
Fight
Fight
Club.
Fight Club is so
Fight Club.
so stupid. Like
Fight
it
Club.
flies
Fight
in the face of what that whole property is about.
It does.
Yeah.
The existence
Okay.
of the game already does an injustice to the movie.
Yeah.
This one, I know which one I want to win. I know what I'm going to vote for. Which, by the way, yeah, I think we all agree, right? Fight Club moved on.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
absolutely.
That's the worst.
Okay, very good. Yes, that's the worst. E.T. versus Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
I mean, E.T. does
Jurassic
phone
Park.
home, so Jurassic
Yeah.
Park.
Yeah, Jurassic
E.T.
Park.
E.T. has a bit of the movie in it. Jurassic Park.
Just makes no sense.
It has
Yeah.
It's
dinosaurs
just,
and
So-
at
bazookas
a,
Yeah.
it's just at a park full of dinosaurs.
with
Because like the
bazookas.
plot in Jurassic Park on the NES is you're just finding these eggs and you got a bazooka, which is nothing to do with the movie at all.
Right.
God, that sucks
least in
though. Because
E.T.
ET
you got
is
the neck thing.
trash.
It
Yeah.
is.
Also, like Yeah, why is he running around collecting dinosaur eggs while murdering dinosaurs? Like, what?
Thank you.
What's the
Save
what's
the
the
babies.
net gain here?
Kill everybody else.
They're
Yeah.
easier to carry. They're easier to
There were
carry.
dinosaurs in that game that weren't in the movie.
Have you tried to
Yeah.
carry a live animal versus its egg?
It's more
Yeah, several of
compact. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are right. Jurassic Park is worse. In that regard only. It's just makes
Can
no
we
sense.
get a clip of Jake saying you guys are right, please, so I can put that on my stream?
Yeah, I'm gonna scrub that from the episode. We'll edit that out. Just don't worry. Okay. Wow.
Jake, when editing this, is about as honest as when he randomizes the.
But how wild though is ET? Oh, fuck you. This was randomized. But like, how wild is it that ET is not in our top 3 of worst movie games?
Because we're talking about adaptations. We're not
Yeah.
talking about gameplay.
Yeah. Okay. If we were talking
Yeah,
about
we
which
can
is
do
the
that
worst
next
game,
year.
then the
We
brackets
can
would
take this
already be
list.
different.
You know what? That'll be next year's March Radness. We'll do this exact same set of games,
Yeah.
I don't
just
want
as
to,
the
though.
worst game instead of worst movie adaptation. How's that?
No, let's do it during the year. Next March Radness, there's so many shitty, horrible games. I don't want to just keep doing the same 12. We got to do a whole other set of shitty ass games.
So many bad
Yeah.
games out there. All right.
But we can do the same, in a
And
month or
like,
two.
like
That would
one
be
and
great.
two, 1 and 2 need to move on to the next list, right? We
There you
need to
go.
Have, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Okay. So,
The dumping
Fifth
grounds.
Element or Street Fighter, the movie, the video game.
Oh dear God.
Which one was a worse movie adaptation?
Fifth Element.
But there's at least
Street
Street
Fighter
Fighter,
Elements
the movie,
fighting
the video
Street
game
Fighter,
at
the movie,
least
the game.
had.
There
Okay,
are
but Street Fighter at least had the
There are
movie
cutscenes.
characters.
Yeah.
But there are
mean-
cutscenes. There are cutscenes from Fifth Element in the game.
Yeah. So Fifth Element is closer to the movie than Street Fighter the movie the game
No.
is to the movie.
No, because Street Fighter the movie, the game, actually has the actors superimposed into the game.
And fighting.
And
they do.
fighting
With
I'm
the,
with you.
Sometimes
with
in the
special
street.
moves.
I'm with you. Okay, Fifth Element is my vote.
No, because Fifth Element actually has the plot cutscenes.
Lilu
And
has
Does
a
it though?
grenade.
Because I have no
one
idea
point.
what's happening in that game, and
But they're
at the
still
first
there.
level,
No.
I'm already lost.
No,
Lilu has a
Fifth
grenade.
Element.
Lilu has
Lilu
a grenade,
has
sure.
fucking grenades. Where does she get grenades from?
She does.
There's like one or
She
two
does.
scenes with
In
grenades
the movie.
later.
Look,
Hey.
you don't ask a lady where she puts her grenades. You
No,
don't
yeah.
ask a lady
Yeah.
where she
Big
puts her
bada
grenades.
boom.
Carry on.
Yeah, but she has a grenade in the movie, that one scene, and they just ran with it for the game. I think Street Fighter is the worst movie adaptation because like
You're
it doesn't
terrible.
have any plot points with the
Between the
movie
two.
at all.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna. Okay. So I think we've got 2 so far for Fifth Element because that's mine. 2 for Street Fighter. Wolf, you're the deciding factor here.
Oh
man.
my god, I'm the tiebreaker here.
Yep.
On,
Wait,
on
wait,
what is
wait,
the worst game?
GP, you want Street Fighter or you want Fifth Element?
To move on,
No,
Yes.
yeah. Which one do you vote for? Because
Fifth Element.
I voted for Fifth Element. That's 3.
That's 3 for Fifth
Oh,
Element.
that's 3. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
Oh, then it doesn't matter. Ah,
No, but what were you
You
gonna
can
say?
say what you
'Cause I
want.
want to know.
I don't. I don't know. I have no idea what's happening in the Fifth Element if I just play the video game, honestly.
Uh-huh.
And at least Street Fighter, you know what's happening. You're
Yeah.
fighting.
You're fighting in the street.
No,
Wait,
one of those.
Yeah,
is
Yeah,
you're
swamp.
fighting. Sometimes in the
clearly.
street.
Very
Dude,
clearly
Based
one
on a
of those is
movie.
swamp
Do it
It was the
blow off of
Everglades.
Kylie Minogue's
But it's a
fucking
video
ass. That's
game.
what you're
in
doing.
Florida.
By the way, how
Wow.
beautiful was Blanca's character in the movie?
Oh,
Chef's
so
kiss.
awful. God.
Still
The
never seen it.
fur, and he was too skinny. Yeah.
Just
Okay.
watch it,
All right.
thinking it's a
okay.
parody, and it's great.
He's
It genuinely is.
It's not ripped,
that's-
he's wiry.
Okay.
So we got our 3 GP. Yeah.
We've got our top 3. We can slow down a little bit if we want to, but for anybody who is not following along very closely, that's me. The top 3: Fight Club for the PlayStation 2, Fifth Element for the PlayStation 1, and Jurassic Park for the NES.
My order,
Which one of these was
my
the
order,
worst?
and I feel like people will agree with me on this. My order will be number 1, Fight Club.
Uh-huh. Preach.
Number 2, Street Fighter, the movie, the game.
That didn't even
And number
advance. It's not
three-
in our
It
top
didn't
3.
advance.
Oh wait, no,
Element.
that didn't.
Fifth
Which,
Element.
Which one? Oh, Fifth.
Fifth
Sorry,
Element.
Fifth
Fifth
Element. Sorry, Fifth Element. And then Jurassic Park.
I
No,
concur.
opposite.
I concur.
No, exact opposite. Jurassic Park. No, Fight Club. You're right. Fight Club. But
Fight
then
Club has
Jurassic
to be
Park.
number 1.
Yeah.
Fight Club's number 1.
Fight Club's number one.
goes without
yes,
saying.
for sure.
Any-
Anybody
movie
disagree?
adaptation. But
Anybody
I think
disagree?
Jurassic Park was a worse movie adaptation than was Fifth Element.
You know
All right.
what?
Yes.
You're right.
I could argue.
You're
I
right.
could see that.
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
I could
So
see that. All right.
Fight Club,
Fight
Fifth
Club,
Element, Jurassic
Jurassic
Park.
Park.
Yeah.
Those are the three, but that's not the order.
No,
think that's
Fight
the order.
Club, Jurassic Park, Fifth Element.
Yes,
Jurassic Park was
yeah.
a worse adaptation
Yes.
than
Oh.
Fifth Element.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yes,
JP
that's
is
what I mean.
2. Fifth Element is 3. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Anybody disagree?
No, I think I'm on board with that.
That might be
think-
the
yeah,
easiest
that's
top
fine.
three we've ever done.
Right?
It's just that bad. I mean, Fight Club. Come on.
Because we're
God.
not picking our favorite games.
You know what?
and torn apart. We're literally picking games that we all hate and we're all agreeing to.
Yeah.
And I love how easy it is.
It's so
I love
great
how
when we
smooth
hate
it
things
goes
together
down.
in harmony. Yeah.
What are you?
It's a lot better when we're all on the same page than
I-
it is when we're like,
I happily
Circus Charlie's a great game, and everybody says it's
It
the
fucking
dumbest thing you've
is.
ever heard.
And you wish it
Okay.
was a movie adaptation, but it's not.
Wolf, what are you saying, Wolf?
can I just say that I do not regret spending $4 on Fight Club. The game.
Oh no, that watching you play it today,
That was
I
entertaining.
would have paid $4 to watch you play it today. Like
it
I
was
would
a
have.
cringe fest. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
In the mail.
It's a
Yeah.
cringe fest. It
Yeah.
does not hold true to the game at all. And it tries to parade as though it's holding true to the game, right? Opening cutscene
movie.
is like, hey, look,
Yeah.
Project Mayhem. Or yeah, holding true to the movie. Opening cutscene is like, hey, look, Project Mayhem. They blow up a building, you see glass fly out of it, and then it zooms out and shows the building, and the explosion is the glow, like the fiery
smiley
eyes
face.
with the green smiley face spray painted on
Yeah.
the side of the building. Okay,
Yeah.
Project Mayhem. Already they're letting you down. Like,
Yeah.
this is what the game is not.
Right.
Right.
And
The only
then
way-
And then they're like,
the only way it could've been
now,
worse is if
and
there was
then-
DLC.
yeah, and then
Yeah,
Limp
Fred Durst.
Bizkit.
That is
then
your
Limp
reward.
Bizkit. And then at some point, you feel like you feel good because you have unlocked Fred Durst.
I feel so bad for
Said
What
nobody
world
ever.
are we
West
in?
Portland.
Sentence,
You know-
isn't it?
and you can. I also want to mention you can unlock Abraham Lincoln because they talked about they wanted to fight. If they could fight anybody, it would be Abraham
Fight
Lincoln.
Abraham
This
true,
Lincoln.
he
is
did say
wiry.
This game shouldn't exist. Like, this is a game that shouldn't
It shouldn't.
exist
But you know
and
what?
flies in the
Well worth
face of the source material in the worst way. This game is insulting.
and that's why it's number 1.
yeah.
Yeah.
This-
But
It's
it's
so
it's
bad.
so well stated, and the point to the movie so articulately, provided and fed to the consumer, that for the game to dumb that down and take you in the opposite direction really is a punch in the dick. And I'm glad this is the worst game. I'm glad we could all agree without
worst
much
movie-
debate,
worst movie
because
adaptation.
I do
Yeah.
feel strongly about that one. And of
That
course,
was like our
Jurassic Park
fastest
8
top 3 ever.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
This
but-
is a bottom 3 though, and that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next time we do this, Fight Club advancing to the next bracket.
Fight
as
Club
well.
and Jurassic Park have to
And Jurassic
advance.
Well, no, don't do that because we already know Jurassic Park is going to lose, right?
I guess that's true.
Unless the
Interesting.
brackets end up, because somehow PlayStation 5 controller was one
Yeah.
of the best ever. So.
They're
If we ever
randomly
do this
generated, and
part
that's just how it
2
lies. And I don't want to hear any slander about
Yeah.
my method for randomizing these things. It was perfect. The system is perfect.
I-
If we ever do
I-
this
It only
in
works.
part 2,
It only
Fight Club
works
should
when we
be the
hate
only one.
everything on it.
Yeah, I hear you, Wolf. I hear you.
God, I needed this, fellas. I needed something where I could just be negative for a minute and unload some negativity.
Well, and we can
And-
all agree in our negativity.
Yes,
Which is
we were.
rare.
We all
Yeah.
had each other's back. It wasn't like, guys, I'm going to present this controversial, topic. This game is a great game, and everybody's like, no, it sucks. We all know how bad each one of these suck.
Yep.
There's not a redeeming thing really in any of them.
There
well,
were
that's
points,
not true.
There
Jaws
were
was
points
great.
where we were like clamoring over each other to like worse the other person's worse.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we were
Yeah.
trying to yuck other people's yuck. Like,
It was.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, the player haters ball, and I loved it. Loved every minute of it.
and
this is
Fred
great.
Durst won.
Congratulations.
Well,
you are the
Congratulations,
worst.
Fred Durst. Fuck you.
It's just one of those
But
days
did
where
he-
you don't want to wake up.
And
Everything is fun.
Yeah. don't add us, Fred.
Everybody sucks.
You don't really
You
know
don't
why.
really know why.
Sometimes you
You
want
want
to
to
Here we
justify
talking
Sometimes
shit,
you wanna
but then we'll
justify
quote
it.
and break stuff,
someone's head off.
sometimes you want
which
to
is
justify
an absolute bop. Absolutely.
trashing a video game and an artist that did a song in it.
we just my wife and I, we were in the car the other day, and we listened to there's a diss track between Korn and Limp Bizkit, and
Oh yeah.
say
All
what
the
you want about
family.
Fred Durst. His guitarist,
Wes
you
Borland's
know,
incredible.
Wes
Yeah,
Borland,
Wes
yes,
Borland's
he's great. Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was some good stuff to Limp Bizkit. Unfortunately, it wasn't the.
Not
It
Fred
wasn't
Durst.
doesn't matter.
It
I don't
wasn't
wanna-
Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Let's wrap
Yeah.
this up. I know we went a bit long. Thank you for joining me in this one.
Yeah,
I
we
love
did.
the March Radness, and if we want to do this again, like in November, that would be fine with me as well. All right. We'll just on my screen go left to right. Sick Jake, tell everybody where they can find you, please.
You can find me, Sick Jake, no K in Sick, over on YouTube and on Twitter. Check me out there. I got a couple of videos going up, mostly me playing Battletoads and failing miserably. It's a good time.
You said there's no K in sick. Is okay. What about a D? Is there any D? Is there a D?
No, it's not Daddy
D.
Jake. It's Sick Jake.
Oh.
Thank you.
All
All
right.
right.
I had heard there's a lot of D. So
These
Sinistar,
nuts.
Yes.
there you go. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, sir?
I'm over at Twitch, Sinistar77, playing Chrono Trigger. Come watch. It's a good
Whenever,
time.
yeah, it's top tier entertainment. I won't say
Mondays.
that, but I always
Monday
mean-
evenings. Mountain
Monday
time,
evening.
Monday evenings.
Yeah, if you need a reason to enjoy Monday, find him Sinister.
Go
true.
somewhere
That's
else.
true.
But if you want to watch me, come over to my channel.
Yeah, it's
Fuck
it's the best.
you.
And then Werewolf, what are you doing? What's up? Where can people find you?
I have actually recorded a few videos now. I just actually need to edit them and upload them. Search me on, you can find me at youtube.com/@werewolf, WAREWULFF. Search Google, tell it you minute, you'll find me. Wow, it's been a long time since I've done a spiel. I forgot it.
I missed it. Yeah,
I am
Wow.
disappointed in
I
myself.
could regurgitate it for you, man. I
Yeah.
was like, I love that. Also, I love your
I gotta
Ghostbusters
say-
shirt. I think that shit's
Yeah.
dope.
Thank you.
I gotta
Which-
say, it's nice. It's nice to have everybody
Repping.
having a project that they're working on at the end of these episodes. Now.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
cool.
Yeah.
That's good. Well,
Yeah.
to that point, Chard Monk, and then there's one last thing we have to get out before we move on. Chard, where can people find you? What are you up to?
Twitch, YouTube, going through the 303 achievements on Final Fantasy IV PSP Complete Edition that includes the original
That's
Final
insane.
Fantasy IV, the interlude, and the after years, as well as all the trials.
Fucking champion. Now, if you guys want, we can take a minute and try to add to our list of 100, or what I think might be a little bit more fun, given this one. Not that I don't love doing our top 100 games you must play before I die, but maybe we should all mention an honorable mention that wasn't on today's list, but it could have been. I'll start off
For worst movie adaptation? Okay.
for worst movie. Okay, there's a
Well-
long discussion about whether or not Ghostbusters should be on there. It did make
Yeah.
it because there is some redemption to it, the soundtrack not being one of them. But for anybody who's been screaming at us the whole time, we talked about it, and these were worse than Ghostbusters. Anybody else got one they want to throw on?
Yeah.
I do.
Go for it, Chad.
Batman for the NES.
Okay,
Batman for the E NES.
I'm not going to call on you anymore if you're going to say stupid stuff.
Well,
How is the Batman for the NES a good adaptation of the fucking movie?
yeah.
It had Batman.
Gameplay's great, but movie adaptation is trash.
Soundtrack
right?
great.
That's where I'm at.
Jack Nicholson is the Joker. Yes, they
Yeah,
took liberties.
That's fair.
A lot
don't
of
know. I'm
liberties.
glad it wasn't on there.
Where was
I don't know.
Firefly in the movie? Explain that to me.
He shows up 30
Uh,
years later in the Batgirl movie that just got canceled, played
got
by Brendan
canned.
Fraser. That's
Yeah.
true.
It is true. Yeah.
Werewolf, which one did you have?
Oh, I don't remember now if I had another one.
Right on. That's all good.
Hmm.
Sinistar?
I don't know.
Not a bad adaptation, but a game that I think everybody should play that's a movie adaptation, but Alien on the Apple II.
Right on. Okay.
Okay.
And then Jake, did you have any others
Yeah,
to throw
so
in?
one that I almost wanted to put in the list, but we ran out of space, was Darkman on the NES. I liked the movie
Ah.
Darkman with Liam Neeson. I love fucking Liam Neeson. And the plot, and the movie's good. It's cheesy, but it's a good movie. The game, though, is so terrible. It looks gross. It just controls terribly. It makes no sense. It's such a terrible game.
Was there
I've
a
got one.
Super Mario Brothers, the movie, the video game?
Sadly, no.
I think
no,
there
I
was.
don't think so.
Wasn't
No.
there?
No, there was
No.
not. No.
No.
It was probably for the best.
All
right.
Yeah, that is probably-
Beetlejuice for the NES.
Dude, that's a
That is
shit
shocking.
game.
Oh, is that
it was
game
a
bad?
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was.
All right.
I just remembered it.
So yeah, like I said, there's no shortage of shitty movie adaptation video games.
Yeah.
we'll be doing things like this
If you'd
again,
like
whether or
us-
not it's next March or later on. But yeah,
I cannot
this was
believe I
fun.
forgot to bring up Batman.
Hmm.
I
It's
literally,
because it's
that
not
light
Marvel.
bulb
Episode
clicked
we
on as soon
revisit.
as we fired this thing off. I was like, fuck.
Power Rangers, the movie, the video game. That was another one. Okay, anyway, guys, gals, everybody out there, thank you very much for tuning in. If you're not following, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're listening in, thank you, but check us out on YouTube or check out our Discord, which I'm sure we can put down in the descriptions or something like that. So until
Or
next
go
time,
to
everybody.
or go to pressbtocancel.com.
Yeah, all
Oh,
links
yeah,
are
that's
there.
right. You got the website.
The
Everybody,
website.
be well. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of March Radness next week. We'll see you then.
See you guys.